Hello. I just wrote a small speech I would like to say before I start playing, and I will do it. Tonight we come together to honor the strength and the spirit of communities whose story have shaped history. In this special episode, we will hear the music and voices of Egypt, Sudan, Congo, Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria. Nations that have faced immense challenge yet continue to inspire with their resilience and hope. These lands have known pain, conflict, displacement, genocide, and the struggle for freedom. But from these experiences rise voices that refuse to be silent. These voices carry messages of courage, resistance, and the unshakable belief in a brighter tomorrow. The music and speeches you will hear tonight are more than just art or words. They are bridges to stories of endurance, expression of identity, and celebration of life. From the flowing rhythm of the Nile to the powerful calls for justice, from the vibrant heart of Congo to the steadfast spirit of Palestine, these sounds remind us of the strengths found in the human spirit. So please listen closely, not just to the melodies and the words, but the stories they carry. Some words will be in English, some in Arabic, and some in other languages. Let this time remind us of our shared humanity and the power of art to heal.
We've finished this chapter of the Palestinians pleading for the world to come and rescue us. We can rescue ourselves if you at least stop supporting the machine, you know? If the machine is ostracized, then we can keep going, because nothing in the world is going to stop the people in Jerusalem. Nothing in the universe will stop them. But we need you. We need you, if you can't be our voice, just to at least not put a penny that goes to the bullet that shoots our children.
استشهاد مراسل الجزيرة إسماعيل الغول والمصور رامي الريفي بقصف إسرائيلي.
غزة لحظة واحدة، لم يغادر ساعة واحدة، استقر في هذه الأماكن واعتقل إسماعيل وتم التنكيل به في اقتحام مستشفى الشفاء أيضا خلال هذه الحرب. ورغم كل المعطيات ورغم
Ismail was covering the war since day one, and he was separated from his family. He used to always post about his daughter and how he has been separated from her, and he chose to stay in the north to report for Al Jazeera. It's heartbreaking to report this today, and it's heartbreaking to report Shireen's killing, Hamza's killing, and Samir's killing. And this is not the first time we're doing this, but every time it feels as if it's the first time.
الصحفي إسماعيل الغول شهيد.
this is a kind of a loop that the Israeli forces and government is going through with Al Jazeera. They're trying to conceal what's happening in northern Gaza. We've been trying every day in the morning to convince them to stop reporting from North Gaza and evacuate for their safety. But what we get from them is we are resilient. We're not going to leave this place. We're giving voice to the voiceless. And if we leave, who else is going to report?
Love has never been a popular movement, and no one's ever wanted really to be free. The world is held together, really it is held together, by the love and the passion of very few people. Otherwise, of course, you can despair. Walk down the street of any city, any afternoon, and look around you. But you're going to remember that what you're looking at is also you. Everyone you're looking at is also you. You could be that person. You could be that monster. You could be that cop.
These malnourished infants have been receiving care at a children's hospital in Port Sudan, just some of the casualties of the devastating 16-month-long war that's wrecked the country. On a visit to the hospital, the Director General of the World Health Organization said insufficient action was being taken to stop the conflict as he spelled out the scale of the crisis.
Sudan's conflict has so far killed more than 20,000 people. This is an underestimate, by the way. Displaced over 10 million people inside the country and forced another 2 million to flee to neighboring countries. This is the largest internal displacement of people in the world today.
Sudan was plunged into chaos in April last year when tensions between the military and a powerful paramilitary group, the Rapid Support Forces, exploded into open warfare across the country. UN-backed human rights investigators have urged the creation of an independent and impartial force to protect civilians, accusing both sides of war crimes, but in particular the Rapid Support Forces, of crimes including rape, sexual slavery, and persecution on ethnic grounds.
Having a protection force or protecting civilians is really paramount in this war and in this crisis, and it's critical that all sides in this conflict are respecting international humanitarian law and protecting civilians.
UN officials emphasized, though, that the best protection for civilians was a ceasefire, leading to a lasting political solution.
They came, they conquered, and they wrote. Now you don't expect people who came to invade us to write the truth about us. They will always write negative things about us. And they have to do that because they have to justify their invasion. We don't write our history. It has always been handed down to us orally by our elders. Of course, the white man came and he writes history. In fact, you don't know anything about any place until the white man gets there. Until the white man comes to any place, nothing lives. It's only when he comes and says, "Boof, I've discovered you, now you exist," which is ridiculous.
Listen to the language of those who support two-state solution or claim that they are supporting the two-state solution. Palestine must be demilitarized. Sorry, why should Palestine be demilitarized? Don't they have the right of self-defense? Aren't their life in danger much more than we Israelis? What other country in the world is demilitarized? Why would they be demilitarized? Why can Israel possess any possible weapon in the world and Palestine has no right to have any kind of weapon? What kind of justice is this? Based on what? On being the chosen people? On being the victims of the Holocaust? On what? And what does this has to do with the Palestinians' rights? And that's only one example. The two-state solution was never born. Israel went for it after many years of opposing it because they saw that this can lead to decades and decades of occupation without doing anything.
Song really close to my heart. It's called Angry Friday by Degla Band from Egypt, and it's describing what happened on the 28th of January, in 2011 during the Egyptian Revolution. And it's gonna be long, it's lots of lyrics, but if you want to learn some history about Egypt and what happened, you can listen carefully.
Let me tell you a story about a memorable day in Cairo, January 28th. They call it Angry Friday, remember the name. It's the day we put our lives on the line for freedom and change.
The revolution was on the 25th of January, and 28th was the big fight between police and the people, where lots of people died. We lost our families, our friends, and Degla will explain in really good details what actually happened on that day, and it's all true.
The word was out before they spat in our face and stripped us of the right to communicate. Internet and cell phones swept away. The government is treating us again like slaves. The sky is perfect and the code is clear. We make our way down after the Friday prayers. Take a taxi, get near the affair. Walk a few miles to the downtown square. Confrontation with the forces of hell. The devil's herd, aka the Khler. They block the roads as they prepare to kill. We march in peace, screaming out Silmeh. Advance no further or prepare to die. Unleash the tear gas and make them cry. We are the system and you'll pay the price. We've got you cornered and we'll spare no lives. Our brothers in black were just a pawn in the game, compelled by superiors and crying shame. Destroy the uprising, whatever it takes. burn the city, light it up in flames. The bullets fly and the snipers aim. Together we stand, the stone in our hand. The chain of command can't stand in our way. The promise of man inspired to redeem his land. Hours pass and people start to grasp the power of momentum is building up fast. We're being surrounded, but that won't last. The semi-empty streets are crowding up full blast. Power to the people, let everyone see. We're standing tall for humanity, unprecedented in our history. The will of man to die. Enough is enough, كفاية حرام. The people have spoken, the millions are here. الشعب يريد إسقاط النظام. Edging closer to the heart of Tahrir. 7 hours of battle shape a war zone nationwide. Ministry of Interior's falling captive to courage and pride. Now we got to make the people beg for their safety that only we could provide. Release the prisoners and dress up the police in civilian disguise. And just when they think that they got us, we'll send these troops out to terrorize. Let them infiltrate and loot and spread the fear of chaos and demise. And utilize the national TV to manipulate their simple minds. And ultimately let the midnight speech of Pharaoh be your green light. We conquer the square finally, we're here to stay. Not leaving this place until he leaves. We stand our ground starting today, the 28th. Make it a symbol for a revolution of peace. 8 p.m. Tanks enter the streets, approaching from Ramses. The armies arrived to crash the party of liberty. Curfew my behind, time to celebrate Egyptian style, temporary victory. The longest road is about to begin from here. Criminal regime, crooked NDP, corrupt police, suspicious military, blind society, brainwashed to living in fear, ignorance and greed, a tyrant at the peak of an authoritarian dynasty. It's been so deeply entrenched for the past 30 years. Wonder what next is up their dirty sleeves. Well, at least we got the heat. It's ours, we're here to stay. And we ain't afraid now. We believe in freedom. In equality. Freedom.
the guy who's singing this song, he got killed 5 days after this song was released. And just to sum up what was happening, and we had a revolution. We call it a revolution, and it was to kick our old government, but we got it back somehow. And it was for 11 days, 18 days, and it was the only time where, as Egyptians, we actually experienced freedom. Our president left, but the same system came back, and nowadays in our country you cannot talk. If you mention the name of the president, you disappear. If you talk about anything that happened in the revolution, you also disappear. Even if you talk in Europe, the embassy calls you and investigates with you because you're saying your opinion. I hope you learned something you didn't know. And rest in peace, Degla.
الدم هيو على صدرها وعلى صدري هيوها الولد استشهد بحضني ما رضيتش امسحها بعد 40 يوم لازم امسحها بعد 40 يوم ايش بدي اقول لك عايشين على التراب هيك انا على زبل الحمير هيني قاعد هو زبل الحمير انا قاعد على زبل الحمير وبقول ما إلي الا انت يا رب يا رب يا رب غير الله بنطلبش الرحمة. أولادنا استشهدت يا حج من غير ظلم وعدوان، أولادنا اللي صارت استشهدوا، الدم هيو على صدرها وعلى صدري هيوها، الولد استشهد في حضني، ما رضيتش أمسحها بعد 40 يوم، لازم أمسحها بعد 40 يوم، ما جبت إلا القذيفة جاي في حضني يا جنبي، وإيش بدي أقول؟ إن الله يا عم الله يصلح الحال يا عم
يا رب
يا رب يصلح الحال يا عم
ربنا المستعان ان شاء الله.
والله يا حاج تمنيت انا اموت
This song is in a really old German language that they used to communicate between Germany and Scandinavian countries. And it's a group of women who are talking to the whole world and giving them 9 promises. And the 9 promises include equality, peace, and non-violence interactions between people and countries. Maybe you will not understand the language, but try to feel the music and the lyrics. talking a lot, but I just want to explain you what's happening so you understand. The next speech is from one of Hamas leaders, and this was 2 days before he dies, and he was saying how sorry he feels that the whole world is watching Palestinians die and all we can do is go for a protest or do a boycott, and this is what we can do. And he was just feeling bad that he cannot protect his own people. And a couple of days after, he was killed by the occupation army. And long live the resistance.
لأننا كشعب فلسطيني حين قررنا أن نخرج إلى هذه المسيرات قررنا أن نجعل من مهج أفئدتنا ومن مقل عيوننا من أجساد أطفالنا ونسائنا سدا يمنع حالة الانهيار في الواقع العربي، سدا يحول دون حالة الهرولة التي يهرول لها الكثيرون من العرب للتطبيع مع كيان الاحتلال الغاصب الذي يحتل قدسنا ويغتصب أرضنا ويدنس مقدساتنا ويمارس على شعبنا القهر ليل نهار.
Sudanese people, men, women and children, will die from starvation. Tomorrow, there will be at least 100 more. This suffering is unimaginable, and what's worse, it is entirely man-made and entirely preventable. The UK has almost doubled its humanitarian support to Sudan, delivering $112 million of aid this year. Trucks of food and medical supplies are on the ground, but they have not been allowed through. The Sudanese armed forces are stopping aid from reaching civilians, while the violence wrought by the Rapid Support Forces is forcing thousands to flee, creating the conditions for starvation to spread. In Zamzam camp, hundreds of thousands of displaced people are sheltering after being forced to flee the city of El Fasher, which has been under siege for months. Whilst this continues, famine and death is inevitable. And beyond Zamzam camp, the situation is no better. More than half of Sudan's 48 million people are facing crisis levels of hunger. In the UN Security Council, we have called on the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces to stop prioritising power over people and squandering opportunities for peace. The people of Sudan deserve to live, and to live in peace. The fighting must end.
The next poetry is from an Egyptian artist called Hisham El-Gach. He's one of the biggest activists in Egypt. He went to prison more than 15 times in Egypt and in Abu Dhabi. He wrote a lot of poetry against the government, not only in Egypt, but in Palestine, in Syria, in Lebanon. And his work has been translated into more than 30 languages. And again, his name is Hisham El-Gach, if you want to check him out.
تقول غزة يا راجل يا مرخي تطلع تقول غزة تضرب نووي قلت ايه؟ طب اضرب نووي كده اضرب نووي كده اقول مش كفاية طياراتكم مش كفاية والمدافع مش كفاية والجنابل والحصار والحرايق والدمار والدموع في عيون صغار والجناين تبقى نار مش كفاية ومش حكاية لو عايزيني مرة أخضع غيروني شوفوا يمكن لو ده ينفع بدلوني وما ما تلاقوليش طريقة واجهوا لو مرة الحقيقة واجروا من قرآني آية تفهموا أصل الحكاية إني بضحك على الجنابل موتة جاية وقلبي جابل الله تعرفوا إن الجنابل والمدافع والشظايا والسلاح اللي معاكوا ومش معايا مش كفاية موتوني 1000 مرة ومش كفاية غصب عنكم بلادي حرة وللنهاية كلمة بكتبها بدماية للي يستشهد ورايا إن تمن الجنة دي لو
I'm gonna end with 2 songs. One song we used to sing during the revolution by the ultras for football. They took huge part of the revolution. And this song means a lot to us. And if there is any Egyptian in the room, yeah. So you might feel this song so much. And the one after is by Hamza Namra, and it's called Ihlam Maaya, means dream with me. And he wrote it in 2010, and the goal from it was to let the Arab world dream with him in one Arab word, like you have here in Europe. If you know the words, feel free to sing.
We want to choose our president.
الناس اللي هنا لا اخوان ولا مدسوسين ولا عندهم اجهزه اقتصاد، الناس اللي هنا كوكتيل الشعب المصري.
نماذج تفتح النفس، حاجه مشرفه وجميله ومتوضيه وطاهره.
احلم معايا ببكره جاي، ولو ما جاش احنا نجيبه بنفسنا، نبدأ نحاول في الطريق، كتر الخطاوي تدلنا على حلمنا. احلم معايا ببكرة جاي، ولو ما جاش احنا نجيبه بنفسنا، نبدأ نحاول في الطريق، كتر الخطاوي تدلنا على حلمنا، مهما نقع نقدر نقوم، نشق نتحدى الغيوم، نلاقي ليلنا 1000 يوم، بس احنا نحلم، مهما نقع نقدر نقوم، نشق نتحدى الغيوم، نلاقي ليلنا 1000 يوم، بس احنا نحلم. احلم معايا يا صديق، تطوي الخطى أرض الطريق، يهمني حلمي البريء مهما يكون، يفضل بروحه جنبنا مهما يطول بينا الطريق، لو حتى تهنا يا صديق يرجع له أنا يضمنا على حلمنا.
ثورة حقيقية أعادت الحرية إلى الرئة المصرية. أنا شخصيا حاسس بيها، أنا حاسس إني قادر أتنفس من بعد ما العيال دي نطقوا.
على حلمنا، على حلمنا،
الراجل اللي بتاع كشري انا كنت عايش زي الحيوان، دلوقتي لاول مره بفكر في حلم، انا مصدق ان مصر تقدر تعمل كل حاجه. انا اول مره احس ان انا مصر
على حلمنا، على حلمنا، على حلمنا، على حلمنا، بس احنا نحلم.
Just before I finish, I want to tell everybody who's watching or everybody's here, it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter your skin color, it doesn't matter your religion, it matters that we can watch what's happening and not doing anything about it. It doesn't matter anything else. This is people, they are kids, they did nothing to anyone, and we are watching them dying. And as Mariam was saying, some people were judging them. And I really think it doesn't matter if you're Arab or European or not. It just matters that you are watching this and you're doing nothing about it. And this is what your conscious and subconscious like follow you forever. And thank you for listening.